that you've decided to join this training. From the beginning, it shows that you are determined to change your career path and just do more. And that is one of the advantage Microsoft actually gives everyone, ability to do more, and it's one of the easiest way to venture into tech. So let me start by introducing myself. Please, can you confirm you can hear me clearly and no background noise?
Yes.
We can hear
Yes,
you.
yes, please. We are hearing you very well. You are loud
Yeah,
and
I
Yes, we
clear.
can
can,
hear you.
can hear you. Can hear you.
Oh, okay. So my name is Michael Gangbe. So actually, Michael is just a name for us to navigate the tech world because my first name is kind of funny. So if you check LinkedIn, you will see Nugoyon Gangbe. So I've been in this tech space for the past seven going to 8 years now. And when it comes to Microsoft, I think to the best of my ability, I've been able to go through the ranks. I joined Tech Expert 1 year after coming into the business, now technology, and I was able to go from technical support engineer one to technical support engineer two to technical lead, then to managing onboarding team and training, and then to team technical manager before leaving Tech Expert. That is before they change their name. So it was a quite a lovely experience, and trust me, I was just like everyone on this call that do not that have zero knowledge about Microsoft. You understand? So this is not a difficult situation. This is not a big tax as you might want to feel. Sometimes it could be frustrating, but just know that there are a lot of resources if you are determined, and you just have to keep learning. And one of the interesting thing about M365 or Microsoft in general is just like an artisan that want to be a fashion designer. So you can't just focus on the theory that maybe you take biro and paper and you're drawing. You have to keep practicing different designs and all of that. So for Microsoft, the more you practice with your test tenants, the more you scatter everything and build again, the better for you to, the better you get the experience. Hope you understand. So you just have to keep practicing every day and keep going into it. So let me just give a brief. This is not to make anyone feel uncomfortable, but this is also to encourage you that we are in the world of possibility. I am currently in the MSP space. It is known as managed service provider. Now it has gone beyond M365. We manage client infrastructure just like the same way. If you are in the office, you have your IT support attending to all IT related concerns. So, for instance, the MSP space I am in, when they have Microsoft issue, Google Workspace issue, AWS networking issue, um, when users can't print, when we want to deploy new servers, when we want to set up the servers, when we want to maintain the servers, when we are also in charge of the security center and all of that. Did someone want to say something? So that is what managed service provider that the space I'm in, and it's God's blessing. I am currently working with two of them at different time, so I have to um, manage it. So just to tell you a few, so you can check my LinkedIn and then follow if you want, but you can see some of the information there. I didn't add one of the organization there because you understand there shouldn't be any conflict of interest. So today we'll be talking about Exchange Admin Center, as you can see on the screen. And please, we can make this engaging. It is fun. I like training being fun. Ask questions. They are no, we do not have dummy questions as long as you are trying to learn. ask question the same way it comes to your mind. You can just raise up your hand and ask. We will try as much as possible to answer your question. So I will want to start with this analogy before I start my introduction. So if few people can just raise up their hands and just answer. Just a moment. So so how many of you have actually gone to the post office before? Like if you've actually gone to the post office or you've tried to send um anything from the post office. So Saint Charles, please. So I want to ask you, what do you think the role of the post manager is? Saint Charles, can you answer that? Or Abioye Emmanuel? I am calling guys that are raising up their hand, so you can unmute and just say something. Micah is saying,
Hello, can you hear me?
yes, Yusuf, I can hear you.
So I just take the post person to be just like an API, someone that's maybe pick up the email, then send it to where the email is supposed to go to.
Mr. Yusuf, it seems that you are into programming, right?
Yes, yes.
So you have to understand that you have newbies trying to. So API is might be a strange or a strange word, but yes, that is for the programming. You understand?
Okay.
So are you telling me that API is something physical? So I asked about a physical experience. What do you think about the role of a post manager? So
Okay.
can you
Okay.
make it
Let
as
me.
simple as
Hello,
possible?
Okay.
hello.
Michael? Oh,
Can you hear
okay.
me?
So yes, I
Yes.
can hear you, Michael.
I think the duty of the post master in the post office is the distribution of letters to the various address.
Exactly, exactly. So thank you, Yusuf. Thank you, Michael. So so the idea of this is to make this exchange, and as you can see on my portal on my screen, this is how exchange admin center looks like. But one of the things I want you to take away from today is this analogy of post office that I always like to use. So it is exchange admin center is just a postal system controlling, managing, distributing, ensuring that, for instance, beyond distributing emails or distributing letters, the post or the main post office manager also have the duty to ensure that he or she is sending the right item. When we go to post office and maybe you are not sending letter this time, you want to send a gift box. We all have the understanding that they have a scanner that they will place your box in it, it will scan through. They also have a scale to ensure that it is the right size, whatever size it is. Oh, is this allowed? Can we send this? Do you need to go to okay, post office can't do this, go to a web center to go and send this box. Are you guys following? So it also gives what we have security checks to the items you are bringing. For instance, may so rest in peace. What happened to Dia back then? If the whoever is delivering the letter has gone through a post office, they'll be able to check that this item is a letter bomb or something. Do you understand? But the letter was delivered directly. So the whole idea of Exchange Admin Center is to ensure distribution of mails, is to ensure where employees get their mails, to manage individual mailboxes, And to ensure sorting, please can we try to mute our mic? Okay, thank you. So that is the major idea. Guys, do you have any question? So that is just to give you an overview of what we are looking into when it comes to Exchange Admin Center. However, everything regarding, I'm sure you guys have discussed M365 admin as a whole. So before you talk about Exchange Admin Center, before you manage any mailbox or anything, one of the requirements for any user to have a mailbox or to be able to send emails is what we call license. So you must give users license. No, for you to have the ability to send emails in your organization, a license must be assigned to you. So I'm sure you have discussed licensing and all of that, creating users. So let's get down. So I'll be taking it step by step. So we'll be going into the mailbox part. So under the mailboxes, we basically have two types of mailbox. So we have the user mailbox and the shared mailbox. So, and your email address is like your ID card, but behind creating an account, you can create an account without a license, and if the account does not have a license, you won't have a mailbox. Do you guys agree with me? You can just use Teams is a very lovely app. So you can try as much as possible to react if you agree, if you have any question. So we have all this react icon. So if you agree with me, can just give a thumbs up so that I can understand we are all following. So you can create an account in M365 Admin Center. If you do not assign a license, the user does not have a mailbox. So the only type of mailbox that do not need a license is a shared mailbox. So we will get into that later, but I'm just trying to let you know, as an administrator, you can create an account and without a license, the user will not have a mailbox. So the license, and we have different type of licensing. There are some license that does not even come with exchange online license. So we have different type of exchange licenses. We have exchange online plan 1, we have exchange online plan 2, and these licenses have different features. So there are some licenses that just come with 50 gig mailbox size, and they cannot expand. So I will give it's not part of what I'm meant to discuss, but let me give you, because this everything about M365 actually go into each other. So you need to understand what you are doing with each of the center. So I will give a brief example of different licenses before we proceed. So for example, we have what we call basic M365 basic, business basic. So for M365 business basic, you cannot use Outlook client for that kind of account, and you can only access your mailbox on the web. Please note, on the web, you'll be entitled to 50 gig mailbox size, but you can't use the Outlook client app. So users can only access their mailbox on the web by going to office.com, login. They can only access their mailbox in there. We have M365 standard. I'm talking about business plan, business standard. You have access to Office applications. You have access to 50 gig mailbox size. You cannot do what we call auto expanding. maybe when you exhaust your 50 gig, you want to start archiving. There are different ways you can do by a cut, but normally if you have M365 standard, you cannot do archive expanding on that. We also have what we call Microsoft Business Premium. This gives you 100 gig for a mailbox size. You can do auto archive expanding and all of that, and they are quite you have a lot of features. On the enterprise side, we have what we call E3, E5. E3 are different type of E3s. E5 are different type of E5. On the front line, we have F3, F5. So there are different licensing. That is a whole topic on its own, a whole subject on its own. We have in the workspace, we have a team. We call them commerce team that deals with the billing, management, license management, and all of that. In fact, in Nigeria, we have people that we call Microsoft Business Partner, Microsoft Licensing Partners, where medium businesses purchase their licenses from. So that is a whole topic on its own. Let's get down to business. Like I said earlier, we have two basic type of mailboxes. I'm picking it from the beginning. So we have users mailbox, we have shared mailbox. So for the users mailbox, this is an active user. This is an active user that you assign a license, an employee you employ, you create the user, Izu, do you have a question? You can unmute and ask a question. Okay, I'll just continue. So the user mailbox is an active and everyday user in your organization. For a good illustration is you employ me to work in your company. Aside from creating a physical security access, for me to be able to communicate, to join meeting, to send emails, you need to create an account for me. And once you create the account, you assign a license. Once you assign the license, that license is what gives me the permission to communicate with every colleague in the organization. So once that license is created, that is when I can now send emails. So if I can actively send emails, I've been given a user mailbox. Do you have any question about user mailbox? If you have a question about user mailbox, if you want me to explain further, please you can ask a question. Isaac? Isaac? Guys, you guys are raising up your hand, but you are not saying anything. Isaac, can I continue? Okay. So an overview of what we've discussed so far, just a simple reminder. So when I started the class, I used the post office manager analogy. So everyone in call that want to manage, that want to pursue a career as a technical support officer, as a Microsoft administrator, M365 administrator, as a IT support specialist, system administrator for organizations that use M365. All of these, always
Hello,
remember that
hello,
okay,
hello. Sorry, can you hear me? Hello.
hello, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for all of this. And sorry, we were muted earlier, so we couldn't unmute. That's why the delay. So
Okay.
I wanted to ask you a question about because it's like I've been following everything you said from scratch, even up to now. I can recollect even your sentences, but you lost me at the part where we started talking about mailboxes. That's the truth. Like, if you're talking about Microsoft and you're talking about mail, the first thing that comes to mind is MS Outlook, right? Shared mailboxes and individual mailboxes. So like I've never seen Exchange before in my life. So and you said it's for managing mails, right, or mailboxes. So if this is what Exchange is for, I'm now asking. So what is now Microsoft Outlook? So that's just what I want to know. Like the difference. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So Izu, um, so before you decide to pursue a career in tech, one thing you need to know is that what you interact with is what we call, I think someone mentioned something about API. So let's use that as an example. For every programming language you design, there's also what we call user interface where user interact with. So as I was saying earlier, I was using explaining that if you employ someone, that person won't know everything I've discussed so far. Those functions, those features are happening at the back end. So what the user that you employ will be doing is to open Outlook, log in, same way you guys have been complaining and say I can't log in and all of this, but you need to start thinking as an administrator that manage all of this. So Outlook allows you is an application. Outlook is an application that allows you to communicate. Same way you Outlook is like your Gmail. You do not have power to manage your Gmail, even when Gmail is free. You do not have the control to manage your mailboxes. You do not have the control to manage the kind of mails. Um, Sometimes you send some emails and Gmail would respond with an NDR, non-deliverable response, and say, "Oh, we can't send this." You will not be able to really understand why you cannot send it. Gmail will just give you a report. So the Outlook client you are talking about, the Gmail is the user interface. When you give users their credentials and password, users have no understanding of their mailbox size, whatever control. Remember, I started that when we talk about Exchange Admin Center, we are talking about a post office management. So you being the post office manager, you are managing all of this at the back end. How do you manage it? You come into the Exchange Admin Center. But on the front end, what the user interact with is Outlook Teams. That is what they have business with. Word, PowerPoint, Excel. If they are to use project, they use project. They only interact with the application. But you as the manager, you manage whatever activities that they are carrying out on the front end at the back end. So
Okay, so
I'm also using the programming illustration here, and I'm using the office post office management illustration just for you to understand properly.
okay, so we can say like you just said, like to we can say that MS Outlook is like front end, right? And Exchange is like server side, something like that. Is that
Exactly, exactly.
thank you.
So I didn't want to go into this before. Before we move to the cloud infrastructure, we used to have what we call Exchange server, physical server that you set up. But Microsoft has made it easy that all of this you don't need to go through the stress of doing that, because by the time you have Exchange server, you will have to manage the mailbox one after the other. You have to start managing mailbox sizes and all of these. It takes a lot of stress. So I'm sure you'll have discussed what we call infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So I don't want to go into that. So let me focus on the business of the day. So like you said, Outlook is an application for you to enhance the communication to enhance the communication among users. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir. So just because of the, you said something recently, you see, because you mentioned projects and some other apps too. So is MS Outlook the only application that uses like Exchange as the server side?
yes,
Okay,
because
okay, fine.
that is
Thank
the only application you can use to communicate. So, however, we have Outlook Online, we have Outlook Client. So, Outlook is your Gmail app. Do you understand?
you. Yes, yes, yes,
I'm
sir.
sure that you
Yes, sir.
have a Gmail account, and
Yes,
mind you, you can access your Gmail account on the web, or you can download the Gmail app from the Play Store or the Apple Store, and you will log in your credential and access your emails.
sir.
Okay. So, um, so if you have any other question, just send a chat so that we won't, we spend some time so that we will be able to cover a lot today. So I just have 2 hours. Um, so just to run over it again, you are the admin. You are the person that will be admin, managing. You are the post office manager. The mailboxes is what we call PO box, the individual PO box where employees get emails and communicate. We also have what we call Mayflow rules. We'll get into that. I just want to give you an overview once again, where you sort your the items that you want to send, the letters, the sorting machines, and the security checks, and then we have groups. Slot that also delivers same memo to the whole department at once. We'll get into that. So as I was saying, the user mailbox is individual. Shared mailbox could also be individual, but it can also work for different purposes. So for the user mailbox, if we look into this, let me take one of the user mailbox in here. Uh, let me use mine. So you can see it has, like I've explained. I don't need to go over this. It has the contact information that is like my ID for me to access the mailbox, the user email address where and my password for me to log in um, into that. And also you will see I mentioned earlier mailbox usage. So the kind of license that was assigned to me by our boss, it is the license that comes with 100 gig. Some license comes with 50 gig. That is what I was trying to explain so that you guys won't be asking questions that why is this mailbox having 99 gig. Your mailbox size is determined by the kind of license you have. I repeat, your mailbox size is determined by the kind of license the organization assigned to you. And I've actually go into that by explaining different type of licenses and their mailbox sizes. So you can check into that more. So the organization, if there's a title and all of that, if your organization have like an organogram that is embedded into M365, this is where you see you apply that to depending on the user roles and their capacity in the organization. So we have what we call delegation under user mailbox. So for instance, if a user, an active user, I'm still talking about user mailbox, an active user is to go on a leave and they do not want when you are going on leave you have this out of office message that you configured and say, oh, if I won't have access to my emails, if you need an urgent assistant, kindly reach out to so so and so. However, there are some clients that they are just this user's client that will definitely send out emails and they are VIPs. So in situations whereby you do not want those things to lag behind, or you need someone to be actively on top of those client requests, we have what we call delegation, where you give users permission to access this particular user mailbox. They have the depending on the permissioning, you have the senders, you have the send on behalf, you have the read and manage full access. So the read and manage full access you have to be careful because these users can read, manage the items in that user mailbox. So sometimes you can just give up send on behalf of senders, but if you give a full access, the users will be able to manage every item in that mailbox. So that is about the delegation of a user mailbox. Um, so we have other Mayflow settings that mailbox settings you can check. We have the email forwarding if we want to forward every emails from a mailbox to a particular user. I will be discussing this more under shared mailbox because we mostly use this under shared mailbox. It is not ethical and professional for you to set up mail forwarding on an user mailbox. So because the user is active and if the user is not aware, and one of the things you need to always check mail forwarding is to in situation whereby bad actors hack this user. One of the behavior that they put in place is to set up mail forwarding. So lately, security wise, it is not advisable except if it's needed internally in your organization to set up email forwarding. However, there are other means you can do that without using the feature on the screen, as you can see here. There are other means. So also you can always convert a user mailbox to a shared mailbox. You can always convert a user mailbox to a shared mailbox. And in such situation, when a user resign and you do not want to lose the content of the mailbox, you can before you remove before note this is note before you remove the license, you have to convert the mailbox to a shared mailbox so that you can retain the items and you can continue to receive emails in that mailbox. um if you have any question regarding this before we proceed, please let me know in the shared. See, uh, this my personal PC is still on Windows 10, so I can't split my screen. So just bear with me. Let me check the charts. Oh, are you sure you can? Desmond said he can't see my screen. Sorry, my network is so good. So can you check
I
if
think
it's
I
on
think
your end?
it's from his end. It's from his end.
Okay.
I
Someone
have
said, "What is MS Outlook then? If Everything is my MS, like I've explained that MS Outlook is the application, the end user application. I'm trying to. What type of license do you need to have a mailbox? I've explained different licenses. So depending, mind you, licensing depends on your office requirement. Your office requirement. So as a technical person, you do not just assign license because it it comes with a cost and you need to understand your office budgeting for licensing. Thank you. So the screen is just one page, yes, because admin center does not have more. Everything is on one interface. So if I'm clicking, you are going to see it. So I think someone replied. So any other question? Okay. So I'm saying if a user resign and you convert to share, so the members, I think I explained that when I was giving you the instances where you can convert a user mailbox to a shared mailbox. So if a user resign and you want to retain the email, and maybe the user is managing high net individuals, and you want to ensure that you are not just sending them to send emails elsewhere, so you can convert that user mailbox to a shared mailbox, removing the license, then assign the mailbox to other users. I will get into that, but I just need to ensure that we are following. Sulaimon asks, what is the difference between Exchange Online and Exchange Server? At the beginning of the class, I explained that the Exchange Server can be related to infrastructure as a service. So if you understand that, so for Exchange Server, you manage every bit of that server. You manage the mailbox size, you manage the pipeline, you manage the infrastructure. You if your server crashed, if the Exchange server crashed, you'll be affected. No one in the organization can send emails. So it is you manage. It's just like when you the only likeness I can give to it is infrastructure as a service. You manage every bit of it. But Exchange Online is more related to software as a service. Microsoft is managing the server, is managing everything. Your own role is to come here and plug and play, put things in place based on your office requirements. So for shared mailbox, is this significant if users are in different mail service provider? No. So mind you, um, because for based on experience, when we are talking mail service provider, um, what we are discussing here is Microsoft. Microsoft. So for other mail service provider, you can't you have to still create an account. Do you understand? So Microsoft also allow you to create what we call guest account, whereby users will retain their third-party email address, but there's a way you integrate it. That is a different conversation. However, one thing I'll tell you, based on my work, Google do not have anything like shared mailbox. Google do not have anything like shared mailbox. So you can't save money. This is not to bash Google or anything. It is a rigid system, and this is just a plus. So the moment you remove license from a, from a Google workspace, that account gets deleted. So even when if you go to an organization using Google Workspace, this is just by the way. I'm not meant to be talking about this, and they need to back up a mailbox before they remove the license. You need to use a third party tool. In my office, we use what we call Dato. So we use Dato Backupify for our Google accounts. So we have to actively back up those accounts. So when we remove the license, we go to into Dato Backupify to get their Google OneDrive, their Google email, calendar, and contacts. So do you understand? This is a plus. So it's just a plus. So you should have this at the back of your mind. That is why, because of the rigidity of other email service provider, most companies make use of M365 because you have like a large control of what you do in your organization. This is a plus. So we shouldn't be going there. So this is all about Microsoft user mailbox. So we go into shared mailbox. Now the difference between user mailbox and shared mailbox, I've actually giving you this when a scenario when you can convert user mailbox to shared mailbox. However, you can always create a shared mailbox for anything. It does not cost the organization any license. Oh, we want a mailbox that a good example is, you know, those people, let's say people centric account, HR, general HR account that all users have access to. Maybe an organization said, oh, we want an account whereby specific specific set of customers need to communicate. A good example is when bank tells you that if you have any complaint, kindly email complaint at gtco.com. those accounts do not, if they are on Microsoft, do not have a license. They are mostly shared mailbox. If you look at the name, shared, it allows multiple users to access the mailbox and manage the items. The the advantage of shared mailbox is it does not require a license. So you can just come here. So you in the admin portal, you have the option to, if you look at it, to convert a user mailbox to a shared mailbox. This is our organization admin account, so I won't be doing that. So in your various tenants, you can create a user mailbox, but using a click, you can convert it to a shared mailbox. However, please note, in a production environment, you need to convert to shared mailbox before removing the license. If you remove a license from an account,
or in front of
it,
two defenders, you see the proximity between him and the two defenders, and him play the ball.
Mr. Benga, you are watching ball in our class.
I'm sorry.
So I repeat again, do not, in production environment, when a user resign and you get an email from the manager or the ops lead that please click urgently, disable this user email, convert this user mailbox to a shared mailbox. You have an icon. If I go to the home page, I come under users. Let me show you guys. I won't be doing it. So let's say myself, I am resigning from this organization. The first thing I would do is to come into this place, reset my password, sign out the user from all M365 session. There will be an option to block users from signing in at the top. Then I will come to mail. If you can see my screen, once I click on mail, I will click on this option, convert to shared mailbox. Do you understand me? Convert to shared mailbox. It will bring another interface and it will allow me to convert to shared mailbox. I can't do this maybe because I have only a global admin grid permission, but this is how it works.
Good. Can I ask a question?
Okay, please.
Good morning. Thank you so much for the explanation and all that. The question goes like this. Before now, we convert mailboxes when a user resigned, maybe he returned the laptop. We convert those email, creating a folder, making them PST files. And those PST files is what we will not save before formatting those system. Then while the licenses are being removed from the accounts,
So
without
now,
converting them
yeah.
to
So now
mailbox.
is number one. If you export to PST and you save it on a system, let's assume you do not have OneDrive, because I know you say you save it in OneDrive. Let's say you save it on a physical system and that system crashed or the PSC got corrupt. How do you intend to recover it?
Yeah, that's a good angle. We actually have a central server where those files are being saved. Even their physical files are being saved. As we do have backup applications that backups their desktop as well. Those things are
Okay.
saved in that similar place. But with what you
Okay.
explain
So
now,
sorry, before you proceed, I want to ask you. You said you have a server. Let's say a physical hazard or something physical happened to the office, God forbid, and the physical server was damaged. There was fire hazard.
these are not physical servers. They are actually what's it called? They are not physical servers. They are
No, I'm
cloud.
just
They
asking.
are. I
I'm
understand.
just
They
asking.
are cloud-based servers.
So
Yeah.
now, see, the thing is, you are spending, if you are using M365, sorry to cut you short, I don't want to us to go back and forth. If you are using M365, you can save a lot of money. You can save yourself the stress. So imagine the time you take in exporting to PST, the time you take in getting it to the cloud server. You also have a license that allows you to convert to shared mailbox. That it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you extra license. It doesn't cost you extra money. You just convert and you leave it there. Whoever want to have access to it. Imagine if you export to PST and somebody needs something in that mailbox, then they have to import. They have to import the PST into that person Outlook. Let's now assume the person system is slow and the mailbox has grown to like 70 gig. Do you know how long it will take you to import into Outlook? It will affect the user job accessing his own mailbox because it will take time. However, advantage of shared mailbox. All you need is to go to that shared mailbox, give user access to that mailbox. I'll give you, I'll show you something right now. Just give me a moment. Let me try to log into a demo account. So you guys can, I can see that you guys are enjoying the class. Thank you. So it's important. I like feedback, and you can see having a real life scenario like the Sulaimon asked is also important. So that Sulaimon, if you guys are still going through that process in your office, you can get a promotion with what we
So it's
just
not
discussed.
Suleiman.
Sorry, I
Sometimes
didn't check the name.
yeah. Sometimes there are office policies that you met, even when you have a better idea to bring on the table. Uh, Dragging and trying to convince them is always a bit difficult. Now I have a reason of asking this. I'm so impressed the way you give the explanation and
So
making
for
it so seamless.
yeah,
Mm.
I've been in such situation before. But I will tell you what you need to do. Um, just before we continue, while I'm trying to log into demo environment. So in such situation, you create a PowerPoint slide, pros and cons. Mind you, every organization want to save cost. You do a deep dive into the costing of what the process you people going to, because if you have a cloud server, you also pay for the server, the cloud, and where you do all this backup. You do a costing, and you let them know that this mailboxes, and you look at the time it will take for, maybe they need to get something from that old mailbox. The time it will take for them to import the PST. Mind you, PST can be crazy when you are trying to import it. If you import a PST into a 50 gig, let's assume the mailbox, the PST is like 40 something gig, and you are trying to import to a user that has almost exhausted their mailbox, you are going to have a lot of challenges. So you show them pros and cons of what you are of why they need to look at the approach differently. Do you understand? So being an IT person, sometimes they might just want to look at like, okay, the person in charge might be looking, I'm used to this process. Is naturally people don't like doing new things, like going through a new process and all of that. So sometimes you might just take up the responsibility and say, oh, I'll be doing this, I'll manage this, I'll go through all the old users. But in situation whereby those mailboxes are not converted to shared, there's nothing you can do. Do you understand?
Yeah, it's well understood. It's well understood. So firstly, one need to convert to shared mailbox. Then you cannot give access to a particular mailbox to always have access to that shared mailbox or multiple users.
Yes. So you can give a lot of people access to a shared mailbox. It doesn't cost you anything. And also the beautiful part of it is that you can manage it from the back end. You can know who is definitely, if you give users access and there's something that is going on, you will know who to hold responsible. Hope you understand.
Sure.
Because in situation whereby someone, and another thing we need to know is in situation whereby someone will just come and tell you, oh, I need to do this, you have to say, oh, did your manager approve this? Do you understand? So there will be an email communication. This is global practice I'm
Best
sharing here.
practice. Yeah.
Best practice. Let your manager give approval. If the manager does not look like someone that needs to give approval, you copy the senior colleague and say, so that they will ask questions. You understand? And so that you won't be held responsible for just giving anybody access to a particular mailbox. Okay, I think I have a demo account. So let's do this so that I can show you how this works from scratch. Let's go to admin portal.
Excuse me, sir, please.
Okay.
Please, sir, can you increase the front of your system? It's a bit tiny here.
Oh,
Your screen
so
is.
you can see that I'm wearing glasses. I do better with tiny images,
Okay.
and it will be faster. Let me see. Is this happening to everyone? Are you sure it's not your? Is it better
It's
now?
it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay
It
now.
seems it's your side. What you can do, maybe if your chat area is open, just close it, collapse it. You have a full screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay. I've increased
Thank you.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
So let's say we will be creating an account to tell you how it works. So let's say we want to create an account. You can see we are not talking about user mailbox now. We are talking about an account. So let's say text exchange, and this is display name, and let's say TE. So right now I have an option. See, I can create the user without a license. Do you understand? So once I create this user does not have any mailbox. Both shared, nothing. So if I check for this user, TE, the user have a profile, but no mailbox. Let's see, there's exchange, yes. The user have a profile, but no mailbox. Are you guys following now? So if I come to the admin center and I check and I refresh, I type GE, nothing's going to show up here. Nothing. So you can, as in situation where you have to do something and you just need to, you didn't assign a license. Trust me, that user have no mailbox. I've answered the first question. However, the moment I come here and I go to licenses, I assign a license. Let's say faculty. If you look at these apps, that was when I was saying different type of licenses with their features. So this license come with Exchange Online Plan 1. Exchange Online Plan 1 should be 50 gig. Once I create this account, I'm going to show you that how to check the mailbox size. Exchange, I can also I can assign this license and I uncheck this. This user won't have a mailbox. Are you guys following? If I assign all of this license and I uncheck what I uncheck up there, let me save it. The user now have a license, but if I come under mail, can you see this? The user does not have an Exchange Online license. Please, this is just to point your attention to this in situation you are troubleshooting as a technical person. So you might just come here, oh, this person have a license, this person, oh, A1 has a faculty, but why is the mailbox not provisioning? Or why is it saying user does not have an Exchange Online? Maybe, just maybe, that type of license, the feature for Exchange Online is not enabled. Please take note. So the moment I click on this and I save changes, this user, once I refresh, the mailbox should be provisioning. Can you see that? So quick. So for the person that asks about Exchange Server, all of this preparing mailbox for the user, you as the technical person managing the Exchange Server, you are the one that will be doing all this physically. But for the Exchange Online, all you just need to do is to click enable the license, enable the feature for the mailbox to be provisioned. Microsoft will take care of the rest at the back end. So this mailbox is still prepared. If I go into the Exchange admin portal and refresh the page, the mailbox is still provisioning. So once I refresh, sometimes
Hey,
according to
Michael.
Microsoft article, it takes they will say it takes 2 minutes to 24 hours. So Microsoft is also telling you that there might be some delay on our own end. So you should also be aware of that.
I can't even have time to even process anything, bro. That's the problem that I'm having.
Okay. So can you ask your question so that we can process it together?
Hello, Michael, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. No, someone is saying that he
Okay,
doesn't have time to process anything. I am going as slow as possible because we are still on
okay, Michael.
different type of mailboxes.
Okay, if you can hear me, actually, the question I want to ask before I can answer, because I just want to ask what's the time frame for the email to be proficient, right? Like if I sign license with this guy, but we are still waiting for email to be populated to be sure that this guy is getting a license for exchange online, but the email is not ready yet. And you said that it's between 2 minutes to 24 hours, right?
Yes,
Now,
yes.
yeah, another question I would like to ask is this. The other time you talk about when you get a kind of information that okay, this guy is no more with us, or maybe there is a fraud in their department, they now want to confiscate the email. Okay, as on this uh person email box, what are the standard procedures to follow? Because you didn't mention that okay, you reset password, you um, if you reset password, you force thing to do or disable the person account so that the person cannot be able to log in.
The first thing to do is to reset the password because without the password, the person can't log in. And then sign the user out. I'll show you guys. I'm just waiting for this to be provisioned. Someone said that he's not following. Can you ask a question? So can you see?
Just the follow-up question. If we disable, will the person still be able to log in?
No, but you need to change the password because what if there are some systems that are cached and the user can still export some emails?
Okay, great.
Do you understand me now? So our mailbox has been provisioned. Can you see 50 gig because of his exchange plan one? So we have plan two. Plan two comes with 100 gig. I think 100 gig is the maximum size for a exchange mailbox. And if the user exhausts the 100 gig, we have what we call archive mailbox and all of that. We'll go into that. Someone said he's not following. Can you ask a question so that we can clarify where you are stuck? We've not gone far. I was not looking at my screen, so I couldn't get the person that was speaking. Is it Michael? Is it Sulaimon? Two people are raising up their hands.
I've asked my own question, so don't worry.
Okay.
I'm following.
So
Okay,
I believe that.
so I just want to ask a quick question, boss. So sorry, sir.
Okay.
It's not even exactly about exchange per se. It's just about the like everything you've been saying is quite what do you call it, overwhelming because there's still a lot to cover in the course. So I just want to know because these tools you're showing us, this tech, this software is like they regularly update them, especially since we're now in like the cloud era. So there's regular updates and all of that. I know in as you've been talking, you mentioned how many times you mentioned that you've read so and so and so in a couple of times. So I just want to know in your daily job, and I hope I would also ask maybe Rafia this question like last session. So like in your daily job, how much documentation do you have to go through? How regularly do they update this software, and how much reading do you have to do in a whole year? Yeah, that's basically what I want to ask. Yeah.
Okay. So for let me just tell you this. For my role as IT support specialist with if if one thing I want you to know, technology keeps changing. Technology keeps changing. If I tell you the amount of technology I undo on a daily that when I was working with just Microsoft, one thing is that if you are just working with just Microsoft, um, those articles will keep updating. There's what we call Microsoft Learn. There's also when Microsoft is changing anything, they will send out memo. Just for instance, when they said there's no more support for MS Windows 10, they were sending this information way back since 2023 that at this point we will stop supporting Windows 10. So it takes intentionality from your own end to be up to date with the latest trend. So Sulaimon, that is why I said if I come into your organization, they will have a problem with me. Because why are you still exporting PST in 2025? That time that you will ask one person to go and export PST, that person can be doing something way better, can be getting used to the latest technology that will be deployed in an organization. Do you understand me, Sulaimon?
Actually, Michael, you're missing it up. It's not my man that read us.
Is
Nah,
your the person that has the question, maybe is Izu
All
or
right,
Sulaimon?
I was actually the one that asked that question.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, sorry. So the thing is, you need to even before there are some things we do on exchange that has been moved to what we call security and compliance portal. Now we do not even have what we call compliance portal because the compliance portal has been changed to what we call purview. So update keeps coming, and it is not limited to Microsoft. Like me, I will tell you for one, if you go into an organization and they are using Google Workspace, I will tell you for free, you are in for it because that is the only system that is rigid. And Google is not ready for you people to come and be changing anything in their system. They are not innovating when it comes to Google Workspace. So I'm just telling you. So for Microsoft, once you have your Microsoft lane, any new thing, any new update, even on your admin portal, there is where we call if I go to the admin portal and sorry, let me go. We have where we call support and we'll view help and support. Yes, health reports. Can you see all these reports where you check service health message center for any update? Once you come to message center, you can see new Copilot security control. Can you see what I'm talking about? Microsoft Purview Compliance Center. This Microsoft Purview was known as Microsoft Compliance Admin Portal. So you have to take time out. All of these articles send good information. Can you see Microsoft Exchange Online? So this is the part where you come and read updates. Microsoft will always send updates on all their technologies. But for now, you will see a lot of Copilots here because Copilot is currently the baby of Microsoft. And they are integrating it into all of their systems. So that is AI. Can we go back? So now that we've created the user account, the mailbox, mind you, I stated earlier, some meetings they will tell you, oh, how long does it take for your mailbox to be provisioned? Please, if the mailbox is not provisioned within 24 hours, kindly reach out to Microsoft technical support. You raise a ticket about it, they will check their backend. When we were supporting, or when I was supporting Microsoft, we have tools on the backend that can allow us to see why the mailbox in provision, and then we can enforce it and all of that. That is a different story entirely. So for the person that asks, what are the right thing to do when a user resign? We like at the beginning, I showed you my own account. I said there's this block signing and all of that. Yeah, please do not delete users because you lose everything regarding the user. So the first thing I would do based on my own priority list, I will reset the password. Before resetting after resetting the password, I'll sign user out of all sessions. Then I'll come to mail. Then I will convert the mailbox to a shared mailbox. So this is a user account that we've created. The mailbox has been provisioned. If you come to your Exchange admin portal, you are going to see the account here also. This is it. You can see it, user mailbox. So I want to, for us to understand how shared mailbox works in terms of conversion, I believe some of you, do you have anyone that have this account?
Yeah, I do.
And are you able to log in into the account?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so this is what I will do. Okay, don't let me ask you to share your screen. So because it will take some time, I will create another account. I'll call it a shared mailbox. Mind you, I told you I can create a shared mail. Mind you, I told you I can create a shared mailbox without a license, and that is what I want to do right now. Let's say Nigeria Exchange NE. Select the domain. Tech tired. Microsoft. Create. Okay, so I've created this. This is a simple way of explaining shared mailbox. I cannot log in directly into the shared mailbox. and I will show you. Remember, we created T. So I'll open another incognito on my Chrome. I will go to office.com. I want to log into TE. Please let me know if you are following. Sign in. Guys, I'm going very slow to ensure that we all are on the same page. And for people struggling with how to sign into their account, this is a good way to see how I am actually signing in, and you should be able to see that I've been able to sign in into 2 accounts without having any issue at all. So this is another account I'm signing into, and I'm trying to set up my MFA. I have the application. I'll just scan, and the account is added so quick. So I'm wondering why some people are still having any some kind of challenges signing in. So in situations whereby you have an account, and you can always, I will always advise, whenever you're setting up your account, always use incognito so that it won't conflict in any previous account you've created. So we've created our account. So you can see under apps, I will be able to access my mailbox. I have an identity. I have a license, exchange online license. I can access the mailbox. Perfect. So if now I want to show you guys one thing. So this is the Outlook loading. I'll try to create let me see if I can create another private mode. Remember, we create an account, a shared mailbox for Nigeria Exchange. So this is what you people, the challenge you guys are having the other time. It will always conflict. It automatically picks my T account.
Open a private Chrome, a guest
No,
Chrome account.
I've used both my let me see. So this is the admin portal. So I can ignore this. Let me just close this. I have this open. So what I'm trying to show you is how you can, this is still okay. So what I will do now is I will send a test email to the Nigerian account I created. It should come up here. Nigeria. So one that has been created, I should be able to see it under the global address list. If not, I can just come back here and copy. And so if we check here, you see unlike the user mailbox that we need to assign license, you can see that this has been created. So I will be sending a test email to tell you that without license, the email will still go through. Send. So if the mailbox is not functioning, it will return what we call non-deliverable response. Now we've created this. I will just minimize this. Let me try to see if I can get another browser open. Guest. Portal office.com. Same thing. So what I will just do is I will just sign out of this. So T exchange. We can come back and log in. Sign in different account. So this is I just need to ensure that we also do this part so that you can confirm that. So remember when we were creating this, it didn't ask me to set any password. So that is the reason why you cannot directly log in into a shared mailbox. You guys understand now? Can you see the differences?
Yes.
Guys,
I think
can you see the
yes,
differences?
yes.
So you cannot
Yes.
directly log in into a shared mailbox. But if I come into this shared mailbox under delegation, click on edit, add TE, as a delegate, giving full access, this can also changes might be saved. Can you see the clause? So you always know all of this in case you want to write any exam, and sometimes questions like this might come up. So I've given a delegate access to TE. So I will go back to my TE, and this is how you can access a shared mailbox. If I have an Outlook client, there's a PowerShare I can use to auto map a shared mailbox to users. I can auto map it. Sometimes it automatically show up on the Outlook client. So for me to access it on the web, since we are using the web, I will just come here, click on open another mailbox, click on Nigeria. It should come up under the address list and art show results. Can just open. It's taking time to show on the global address list. So this way, you will be seeing two Outlook on my. So can you see the email we sent? Guys, do you get this is still going to? So can you see the email we sent from test exchange to the shared mailbox we created?
Yes.
So
So,
can you see
Michael,
that?
quick one.
Okay.
Can we say that Shell mailbox is kind of a mailing group?
No, you can't consider shared mailbox as main. We have mailing group separately. We'll get into that. But this is the major, the major part of exchange that you need to understand how they work differently. Those mailing group are pretty much straightforward. Do you understand?
Okay.
So
Okay.
two things. There's a question from Yetune that say, can you explain the signing to shared mailbox again? You cannot directly sign in into a shared mailbox the same way you sign in into a user mailbox. Only the users that have access can sign in, can open the shared mailbox through their own user account. Yetunde, do you understand? That was why I created the shared mailbox when I was creating the shared mailbox, it didn't ask me for password. So that is the basic thing you need to understand. It doesn't require password. For you to sign in, you need an authentication method, a password. So since it doesn't require a password, you cannot sign in into it. So for you to access the shared mailbox, you need to assign delegate access to people that have user mailbox, to people that have ID card, as I explained earlier. So I created a shared mailbox. I gave Test Exchange the full access to this mailbox. Mind you, because of this full access, this person have the autonomy and the authority to do and undo in this mailbox. Do you understand now? Are we both clear?
Yes, sir.
Hope no confusion between user mailbox and shared mailbox. I have reproduced it. I have shown you guys. Hope you understand the functionality and the differences between both mailboxes.
Very clear, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Can we proceed now?
Yes,
Fire
sir.
on, fire on.
So we can also do a test email to TE from this shared mailbox. The global address list is taking time to populate. So let me just copy. Where is my admin portal? So I'm trying to send an email from the shared mailbox to the user mailbox. See? So if it do not have the permission to send messages from this mailbox. So that is what I was trying to show you. So if we come back to our admin portal, it is also important to give senders, send on behalf, so that the user we should be able to send email from the mailbox. The read and manage full access only allow you to manage the items in the mailbox. So guys, this is an assignment. Try to understand the difference between senders, send on behalf, and read and manage full access. So I'm going to give a senders permission. So you remember when I was discussing this, I kept on saying everything is guided by permission. It's not showing. So these things take some time. Trying to give TE. Okay. There are other ways I can also give permission. So I can also come to, there is a group here called shared mailbox. I can look for the shared mailbox and see if it's showing here. Fresh. Nigeria. So earlier, guys, I told you guys that most of these portal have almost similar features. So I'm doing this from the admin center. Okay. So the exchange admin center has not updated, so that is why I'm doing this here. I can go back and also send us permission from here. So once I go back to the mailbox and try to send, it might take some time because it might take some time for the permission to take place. So, refresh. Let me refresh the page.
That's right.
Sulaiman,
Yes.
are you saying something? Guys,
I want to
I
ask
just have
you.
to do this repro before we proceed so that you can have a good, like a more of a hands-on, seeing how this works. Mr. Rashid. Mr. Rashid. Mr. Rashid.
Mr. Ishmael, mo ń gbọ́ yín. So mo gbé fún Mr. Ishmael ní ìmọ̀ bóyá ó ti rí yín.
So can you see? It's still taking time. So we'll come back because the permission has not propagated properly. So it's taking some time. So we'll come back to this, guys. And you can also do it on your end. So, Mr. Rashid, can you mute your mic, please?
Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lélẹ̀ mẹ́ta náà náà ò ní.
So you can mute his mic.
Are you sure?
Yes, you can mute his mic.
Mẹ́fà ni mo kó wá fún wọn.
Okay. 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 I'm just. Okay. Any question regarding user mailbox and shared mailbox? We've spent a lot of time on that, so let's just speed up on. Let's go back to our exchange. For CJ, you can only enable auto archive. That also depends on your license. So I didn't want to go into that. There are some licenses that allow you to auto archive. So Abiti, your mic was kind of disturbing. So can you check that before you speak? We are still far behind, but I'm sure that without going to your portal, when you are asked about user mailbox, shared mailbox, creating users, creating shared mailbox, you guys can actually explain. Abiti, I say you can speak, but your mic is disturbing. So I'm going to mute you. So I don't know. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing the name well.
It's Harun, not Aruna. Good morning.
Okay, Harun.
Yes.
So can you ask your question?
Okay, a quick one. The shared mailbox, what was the name again? The one you created?
Nigeria Exchange.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. So we move into, someone asked a question about groups. So we move into the groups part. We are still under recipient, funny enough, but I am enjoying the class anyway. I like the fact that it is engaging and which is kind of lovely. So we move into the group part, and this is where you have different type of groups. You have M365 groups, you have distribution lists, you have dynamic distribution lists, you have mail enabled security groups. So your Microsoft 365 groups is what allows you when you create those groups in Teams, those groups that we also call them mail enabled groups. We call them mail enabled groups. That is what we use to distribute all the organization-wide communications or notice or groups that we create to send automatic emails for celebrants and all of that. So those are considered to be M365 groups. So they are mail-enabled groups, and they are the kind of groups when you go to your Teams that you see Teams channel, communication, and all of that. So those are created, and you can see from what we have here, the groups that has been created. We have Team status, where you can also see the messages on Teams. They are pretty much straightforward. They can be public and private. When you say private groups, these are groups that are just involving certain users. If the group is public, everyone in the organization can have access to the group's information and all of that. Do you have a question about that? Because it's not really a for M365, we do not really have any special features for M365 groups, just for communication. As I've stated earlier, you can also use to have like your normal WhatsApp group chat where you add numbers. You have all sales. For instance, if you want a group for setting for everyone in your organization, you can also create M365 group. So the major thing on that groups I'll also be talking about is distribution lists. And I'll go back to the post office. A post office is also, now we spoke about post manager, and now we are talking about the post office itself. Post office can be considered a good example as distribution list. So a distribution list is that mailing system that does not have a mailbox. It only accept and forward and distribute. So a good example, if I have 20 users that I want to send communication to, and I don't need a mailbox to do that, I will create a distribution list, add those users to that distribution list, and then it will forward all the email I sent to that distribution list to those users. Guys, I will repeat, a distribution list does not hold, is the version of a shared mailbox that you don't have anything to do with mailbox. It just collects and send, collect and forward, collect and send it out, collect and send it out. So I will be doing, let me do a quick demo. I'm sure that majority of us are on this tech tired. If you are logged in, just let me know. I'll create, let me add a group. So from here you can see it allows teams to collaborate by giving them a group for, that is the M365. So conversations, files, calendar, their core groups and all of that. I've explained that. So we are talking about distribution lists. So it does not have any kind of mailing system. It's just for it to forward, collect and forward the email. So let's say we are doing foreign exchange. I'm using exchange so that we can foreign exchange. So I'll make TE the owner of the distribution list. Please, if you are signed in already, please can you just show your hand so I can add you guys.
I'm sure it's not. And they go say that they get professor for Nigeria. Okay.
Look for Aaron. Okay. You have 2 accounts. So which one should I use?
The first one, the first one.
Okay. Who else? Let me look for Olakule. Have you signed into your account? Ebuka. Ebuka Paul DK. Abdul. My Badmos. Badman has not signed in. Let's just let me just add all of this. So FD. So depending on your settings, you can allow people outside the organization to send. So we are going to do a test also with that. Then no, we don't want to make anyone. We can just do close. So I remember I was explaining earlier that majority of those emails we get from the bank and they say reach out to support. Some of them could be groups emails. Some of them could be distribution leads that the users that are meant to attend to your request will just once they receive the email they will attend to it. So we can just make it okay. Owner approval. They need approval to join. No close. So then we will go to next and create group. So close. So that is a distribution list. We've created one. So what I'm going to do is I'll send an email. Then I'm going to show you how distribution lists work. So I'm sending an email to FE from TE. So I'm going to send to the distribution list. Aaron, please confirm you received the email. I'll also check here. If I check sent item, sent.
Yeah, it has dropped.
Okay, awesome.
It has dropped.
So if you check, you will see that there is no mailbox for it. What is the can you tell me the character you saw when you received the email? So let me just show you what I meant by that. So there's what we call message trace. We will still come to that.
Okay,
but
what I saw, just the guest. Then when I open it, I can see member. When I click on the member, people you added to the group are there.
Exactly. So if I come to message trace, I'm trying to trace the email I just sent. You will see that it sent that email individually. That is the advantage of DL. Start a trace, sender, recipient. So yeah. Today's date is starting. So can you see if I check this? Delivered. Right click on drop down. See, message sent to the distribution leader and was expanded to recipient of the DL. So the message won't come in like a group message whereby you CC everyone. Do you understand? So for me to confirm this, I'll also do a trace between on Aruna's mailbox. Message trace, start trace. Sorry, I keep calling you Aruna. Aaron. Apologies about that. Guys, are you guys following? We are not into message trace yet. I just want to show you that the email from the DL got delivered individually. So you just receive and send it out. Let me check my date. Recipient. I don't know. Shit. The first one, right? So can you see? So guys, can you see what I'm trying to talk about? So it didn't send it. It sent from the sender, and the recipient is showing Aaron. Mind you, what I did was to send from TE to FE. But when we do a message trace, it's looking like it is being sent from TE to Aaron directly. Do you guys understand the functionality of DL distribution list? Ebuka, you want to ask a question? Ebuka, you're raising up your hand. Can I proceed? Guys, can you react if you guys can hear me? There's a send reaction at the top of your teams. Okay. So do you guys understand the whole ideology of DL? It doesn't retain email into his own mailbox. There's no mailbox for DL. It just collects from A and send it to B, C, D, E, F, D, A. So B, D, C, E, F, D, A, we see that, oh, it's coming from A. Or it's coming, do you understand? Instead of me to draft the same email and start copying Aaron, Ebuka, and all of that, if they are in the same department and there's a purpose for the deal, okay, everybody should be seeing it. Everybody should be on top of these emails. Okay, let's create a deal. Whatever is coming to everyone at the same time. So there is no mailbox for a deal. It does not retain any information. It collect and send, collect and send out. That is a good example of DL. Thank you, guys. So let's go back. Now, we'll go into a dynamic distribution list. What do we understand by dynamic distribution list? It's also some kind of deal, but it is configured in a way whereby you need specific attributes. We call it attribute. So when users meet up with that specific attribute, emails will be forwarded to them. They will automatically be added to the DL. They will automatically be added to the DL. Let's look at creating a dynamic distribution group. So can you see? Send emails to all members of the list. The group membership list is updated every 24 hours based on filters and conditions. So if you want to create dynamic distribution group, it depends on certain conditions. Maybe you want users that are in a specific department to be added to the DL. Maybe you want users that have different different groups to be added to the DL. Maybe you want users that have a specific kind of signing ability or whatever it is to be added to the deal. So in such situation, you don't need to manually go into that deal to update the user list. So as you are creating users in your organizations, the users will be updating automatically once they meet certain conditions into the deal. Are we good to go? Once they meet certain conditions into the deal, so that is the function of a dynamic distribution group. Please, if you have a question, you can drop it in the chat. I think my time is almost over. We will continue the rest, but if you understand the basic part of this recipient, you won't have much, you won't have any kind of issue troubleshooting. So mail enable security, these are groups that are created for security purposes to manage resources. If users are in mail enable security, these are users that you can create where you can ask them to, they should be able to manage some kind of resources. I'll give a good example. I worked on a project recently where we created a SharePoint site for an organization based on their job role. This is like an insurance firm. So we want certain users to have access to the document in the SharePoint site, certain document in the SharePoint site, like claim. There's what we call claim. There's what we call different type of SharePoint created for different purposes and different document. So, and we also have public and administration document also. So what I did was to create what I call mail enable security group. Add the users to the mail enable group depending on their roles. So if I'm creating a new user and I want user to have access to the document under TX claim document. So what I did was just to add user to the security mail enable group. Automatically, the user, once I go into the SharePoint site, go into document, I'll be able to sync document for that group into the user account or the user machine, and the user will automatically have access to those resources. Guys, do you understand? So mail enable security groups send messages to the members of the group, one, and it also give access to resources. Access. Please, I'll go over these three again. M365 group allow you to collaborate, teams, share files, and all of that, calendar, and all of that. You will see it under groups in your Outlook. DL that we've reproduced, we've done, is just like a post office distribute emails. It's not a mailbox. It allows you to distribute emails. Mail enables security groups. You can receive emails, but also give access to resources. Also give access to resources, roles, and all of that. Then dynamic distribution group. It sends email. However, members are added to this group based on filters and conditions. Based on filters and conditions. Do you guys understand? So the last part we'll be talking about today, these are resources. Maybe when we connect next, we also need to understand how resources work. We have basically two resources. We have equipment and room. I will just give you an overview of this. So for equipment, let's say you are a civil engineer, a builder, and you have like a part of your organization that tools that they use, that you allow other organization to come into your company to borrow tools. So for instance, and you want to keep track of what is being used. So company A wants to use tractor W. So resources, equipment resource allows you to manage tractor W and letting people know that company A is making use of tractor W. Mind you, tractor is an equipment. Now, let's assume you are working in MTN. MTN have 15 conference room. So you want everyone to know so that there won't be some kind of rough and up and down. Oh, I'm the one that is using this. I'm the one that is meant to use it. Users will come in and say, I want to use conference A. Is conference A available? Because I want to use that conference A for meeting with my client. So Aaron, we know that Ebuka is using conference A. So Aaron can go and look for available conference room to use. Oh, conference room 10 is available. Aaron can now book to use conference room 10. If a user want to use conference room 10, a user will understand that, oh, Aaron is using conference room 10. So let me look for any other available conference room. If not, if that is the conference room that person want to use, the person will not select an allotted time when that conference room is free to be used. So we have two types of resource. We have room and we have equipment. So guys, you can read more on this. When else we join, we can just do a quick demo and how it works, and then I will ask questions. So let me just do a quick overview. I spent 2 hours already. I have 2 hours. So because I do not want you guys to be overwhelmed, and understand, have a feel of how this portal works. And I think I've been able to do that to the very least. So what is Exchange Admin Center? It is dedicated web-based control panel for all things related to your organization email. In brackets, if you go and work with organization that is not using Microsoft, you won't see Exchange Admin Center. Google, for people using Google Workspace, you can tell your friends that are on this call and you can verify if I'm lying. You can only log into Google Admin Center. Once you log in, you see users. From that user interface, you do everything. There's nothing like maybe Gmail. What you see is apps. Under apps, you see Gmail. But every other thing is managed on there. There's no differences. Even you cannot manage security settings for user base alone. It has to be global wise. You can't control user MFA. Once you enforce MFA for users in Google Workspace, it is still users that have to go and enable it themselves. So I'm just telling you the difference. Google Workspace have its own advantages. Because of it is rigid, it is not easily porous to hackers. So once you enable certain things, you should be able, you can't use just anything. So it is recently, someone asked about how often do you read? It is recently we just started doing what we call domain join device for Google Workspace. And unlike Microsoft that you can use the user interface to achieve this, for Google Workspace, I have to run a script to join that device to Google Workspace so that they can log in with their Google account. So I'm just telling you the differences. So I will ask this question if anyone can answer. Just give me a moment. So just raise up your hand. The question is, the Microsoft 365 Admin Center is the old building. What specific room is the Exchange Admin Center? Let me paste the question, so I will understand everyone is following. You can just reply. I just have 2 questions. Guys, can you reply to the question in the chat? Or if I have few people that can unmute.
Please come again with the question.
The question is in the chat room. I just have 2 questions. So the Microsoft Admin Center is the old building. What specific room is the Exchange Admin Center? Awesome. I'm glad that everyone is following. So question, a quick one. Do you have what we've touched? Do you guys like the way we handle this? Do you have any question before we call it a day? Before I hand over the session to Ofia. Thank you guys. It's obvious that everyone is following. I really appreciate that. Please, if you have any question, just raise up your hand before we end the session. I could have taken, funny part is this is a funny note. I can take this in 2 hours, everything about Exchange Admin Center. But if we do not touch things that are not on the portal, for instance, the whole sending email, different license, the different license access and all of that, we might not understand. Yes, you can use the email. You can use the email to created for you to follow through and do a test. But you can, it's also better if you also create your own test account, I think, because some of these features you need admin role to do them. So thank you guys. I do not want to rush the session, but I'm telling you, we can take this for 2 hours, everything, but you have a lot of questions. But it's better to have more clarity. So if you, I believe no one has any question. So can we call it a day?
Thank you very much for your
Hello,
time.
hello. Good afternoon, Mr. Michael.
Good
Hello.
afternoon,
Yeah, good
Mr.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Yahya Bakar Sadika. Thank you so much for the section. Very insightful. We appreciate. Meanwhile, it's just a request. I need your full name, please, to follow you on LinkedIn or your profile. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Yeah.
Let
Please,
me
you
let
can
me
you
just
can drop it on the chat for us, please. Thank you.
okay. Let me just share my. I
It's
think I have
already
it open
done.
in one of my browser.
It's on the chat
Yeah.
already.
Uh, so let me check. I hardly open this. I just
It.
We
Okay,
have
thank
it
you.
already.
It's
It's in
already
the
on the
chat.
chat. I've
okay.
gotten it. It's
Okay.
already on the chat. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So no other question. Are we good?
You have questions.
I have
Thank
a
you
question.
so,
I have
so
a question.
much.
I have a question. I have a question. I want to say something, please. You hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you, Saint Charles.
Yeah.
Are you really a
Yes.
saint?
Yes, I am.
Are you sure?
I am. All right. I want to ask your furniture. I want to ask. I hope this recording. My network locked me out. I could not follow through as the class was going on. So I don't know. Please
Yes,
give us
yes,
a recording so that I can be able to use and follow
yes.
through.
It is recorded. It is recorded. Once you see the red icon in front of the timing, it shows the meeting is being recorded.
Okay. All right. No problem. Thank you very much. I
Oh,
appreciate
okay.
it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, my boss, Rafia. Let me hand over to you. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, thank you, thank you so, so much. You're my Oga here. Thank you. Really appreciate your time. And yeah, we look forward to having you in the next session. I want to believe you've answered the question. I can see no one's hand is opened. No one hand is up, I mean. That means this was very straightforward. Okay, Harun. Harun, you're raising your hand. So we're going to use the next 10 minutes to answer questions before you leave, please. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. If you'd like to follow Mr. Michael on LinkedIn, the link to his LinkedIn profile is in the chat. Please do well to connect with him. He's to an extent available to answer all of your questions. Feel free to reach out to him. So Harun, you can ask your question.
Oh, sorry, it was actually a miss. I didn't really raise up my hand. Maybe it was
Okay.
a mistake. I just tapped on it. Thank
Okay.
you. Everything was actually clear and straightforward
Very
to all
straightforward.
for us here. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Taufik, I can see your hand is up. You can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity given to us. I'm just on my question is just on this DL, the distribution list. I know we still need to have another class because I want to know how a member or in the list can reply email anonymously. You understand? So that the recipient will not know who is replying.
It does not. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
I can hear you.
Okay. That does not work with deal. There is no as long as remember that was the reason why I did the message trace to show you how Aaron received the email. Do you
No, what
understand?
I mean, sorry, sir. I don't really mean the people in the list. You know, as in giving an
Oh,
opportunity.
an external. Do
Yes.
you mean an external? So when we were creating, remember when we were creating the email, there was the distribution list. There was an option for us to select can external users send email to the DL, and I said yes. So depending on your settings, you can decide to make the DL a closed one, or you can decide to make it public. But I should tell you something, there is never anonymity when it comes to Mayflow. The only anonymity is using a false identity. As an exchange expert, if I receive email, you should go through 15 tunnels. There's what we call tunnels. By the time we are analyzing message headers, I'll be able to identify either the IP you used to send the email. If you use telnet, the telnet also have an identity. So you can't do a ghost. You can't see in the tech world. Let me just break it down like this. There is never a ghost. There's only a bad actor using a fraudulent identity. Let me see all those one that you say you check. I do not want. There is no hidden. There's no place for you to hide. You cannot. You can only reduce your presence online, but there's no place for you to hide as long as you are sending an email. What we see on WhatsApp that they call end-to-end encryption, when there is a law case and the law require to trace whatever, it will be provided, and that is why you are an admin, exchange admin. As an IT person, as a technical officer, you want to be a M365 administrator, you need to understand how to analyze every email if you need to understand. And that ability is what will make you identify if an email is a phishing email, if an email is a spam email, if an email is a false positive or that is falsely flagged. You need to be able to identify that, oh, this IP has been flagged by different spam house to the email. And also, it is even beyond this. There are other security measures that you have to put in place to ensure that your organization is not receiving bad emails from bad actors. So you see, for our own email, for us to do this test, I'm sure Rafia would have put in place DMARC, what we call DMARC records, SPF records. Those are the conversation for M365 administration in general. When you're adding your domain and all of that, DMARC DKIM is security feature. In fact, we are in a world whereby it is not even enough. So somebody was asking about advancement. It's not even enough. We now have what we call conditional access policy, where you cannot access your emails outside certain location. In fact, if you do not meet certain conditions, you won't be able to open your emails on your phone. You guys can see when I created CE, even when I did not click on anything MFA, the moment I wanted to sign in, it asked me to set up MFA. If I did not set up the MFA, I go nowhere. I can't send any email. Do you understand? So as choosing a career path here, these are the things you need to understand. There is no ghost anywhere, except if you are not just ready to find who is doing what. I'm just trying to tell you. I hope I answer your question.
Yes, thank you.
Any other question?
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I think that should be all for today. Yeah, we do appreciate your time. Thank you all for joining. See you same time next week, Tuesday by 10 a.m.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Rafia.
ma'am.
Thank you, Michael. Bye
You're
bye.
welcome. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Please
Thank you
remember to
very
set
much,
up
sir.
that account for me.
Okay, just hold on.
Okay.